They say that life is what happens when you're busy making plans. Well, at the end of last year, I was making plans. I was thinking about where I wanted to go with my business, where I wanted to grow, things that I wanted to learn, things that I wanted to do, and my usual just end of year routine. On New Year's Eve, I had a stroke. So all of my plans went out the window. All the things that I intended to do to hit the ground running in January, none of that happened. I have no family history of stroke, and I don't really know any in-depth stories about what it is to have a stroke. For me, I know it happened on New Year's Eve because I can look back at the weird things that were going on, which I now understand were caused by my stroke. So I was doing my year-end ritual, which I normally would have done sooner, but I happened coincidentally also to be really sick with that horrible coughing bug that everybody seems to have had. So I was doing that, and I would normally do it in my shed, and I couldn't focus. And actually, if you look at my notes, I was writing over the same line over and over, and writing over words, and just not following at all things that were making sense at the time, and then a moment later I realised didn't. So I ended up cutting short what I would normally do, which was slightly frustrating, but I had to recognise that my body had its limitations, and I was struggling to start to see. And I have in the past suffered from auras, so I figured it was just another one of those and it would pass in maybe an hour or so, and it didn't. So I fell asleep late afternoon and woke up like 10:30 for some dinner that I should have had a few hours ago, but I'd been asleep, and went back to sleep because I was so tired. And apparently my husband tried to wake me up at one point, and I was speaking absolute gibberish, and I don't remember this. I don't remember being woken up. I don't remember talking nonsense, but that is apparently what happened. And when the next day I couldn't see, I decided it was time to go to A&E, which is where they discovered that my blood pressure was 251 over 151. They advise you to go get immediate urgent care if your blood pressure is over 140 over 110. So I was over 100 points higher than the danger zone of death. So my blood pressure was pretty bad. So they admitted me straight away, but lack of funds and lack of beds meant that I slept in a corridor for the first 3 days. Although I gradually increased, I was gradually graduated to better and better chairs because the poor old nursing staff were doing their absolute best, and it was just it's out of their control. It's purely funding and resources. I finally was moved to the stroke ward on Thursday afternoon, and which I didn't like that very much at all. It triggered me on a number of levels, so I was lucky they managed to move me to a private room, and I was there until Friday when I was let out. So I've been home since Friday afternoon, and I'm filled with gratitude for the literally hundreds of people who've sent me messages of support, as well as the people who have called me, and too many to mention, but every single one of you is appreciated, as well as my friend Paola, who came to visit me and sort of spent the day with me, and I found out later advocated for me and argued with the stroke people about how I was being treated, and my friend Vicky, who came to pick me up when I was released and is taking care of the budgie for the next couple of months because it's too much. Somebody else needs to help out for a little bit. So I'm home. I have an appointment with the GP on Friday to assess me and see where I am. I have an appointment with the physiotherapist on Wednesday to have a look at what I need to do. I'm getting people coming over to look at my house to see what needs to be made safer because I can't actually see to the right. My vision has been heavily impacted. Not only can I not see to my right, where I can see it isn't clear. It's splotchy and it's blotchy. And at the moment, they're hopeful that I'll regain my sight. but there is a possibility that I might not. It's one of those things that only time will tell. So I'm signed off work sick for a month, and I'm not allowed to drive for at least 2 months. And that little bit is probably the bit that I'm struggling the most with, because I keep thinking I could just pop out to pick something up. No, there will be no just popping out for me anytime soon. But on the upside, things could have been so much worse. I could be dead. With a blood pressure like that, I should be dead. I'm not. And I've had so much help, so much support, and it's going to mean a complete lifestyle overhaul. I will be learning a lot and educating myself a lot, so I'll be sharing that. But it's an opportunity for growth. It's an opportunity for positivity. So right now I'm just really thankful for everything.